We'll call to order the notice. Wait, what is this meeting called?
Budget workshop.
Budget workshop at 6 p.m. Sorry, I think it said regular meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benish?
Here.
Mr. Ernest?
Here.
Mrs. Ernest?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Shoemaker?
Yep.
Mr. Wiedemann?
Here.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here. Pledge of, do we have any communications?
No,
Okay,
I don't.
Pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Ernest?
Yes.
Mrs. Ernest?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Shoemaker?
Yes.
Mr. Wiedemann?
Yes.
Mr. Benish?
Yes.
Nobody here to address the board. We'll move on to special presentations to the board. Mr. McLaughlin will present a budget presentation to the Board of Education.
Well, nobody showed up. I'm sorry that nobody showed up, you guys, but if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and do this for our viewers at home because we might have one or two. Hey, and then actually, Carl's here. So
Yeah,
Carl,
let's just go through
how's it going? You want to go ahead and say hi? You might be muted though. There you go. Hold
Yeah,
on,
anybody
Carl.
have any questions for me? Fire and away, otherwise I'll sit and listen for a little bit. Any additional information you need, let me know.
Okay, so Carl, I'm sorry that I'm this way, it's just kind of the camera's there, so I'll be, looking at my bald head the whole time. So.
Not a problem.
All right, so thank you guys for coming tonight and going through this budget workshop. Kind of our goal with the budget workshop is to work with community members again to just, or at least bring it up and have an opportunity for the community members to come in and talk a little bit about the budget. I just wanted to make sure that everybody's kind of aware of our mission statement here at Leyton. We want to cultivate lifelong learners as our students successfully transition into a diverse world. This is a really good time for me as a parent to remember those words because my kid is definitely transitioning to a new and diverse world. We also want to just reflect on our mission or our vision, which is embracing our community, creating integrity, and achieving greatness here at Leyton. So for the agenda tonight, we just want to go over the current state of all of our funds at the school, the major funds, or our three majors. We're going to go over school district spending and historical data, as well as rationale on the increases that you'll see tonight. We'll talk about the valuation, we'll talk about the levy, and we're going to talk about the proposed levy and tax asking for the 2025-26 fiscal year. The last thing that we'll talk about is just some unknown stuff. Like state aid, our update there, some option funding updates in our current enrollment. So you guys will have an idea at the end of this kind of where we're at and why we need to be where we're at as a team. So just so that the people watching at home, hopefully there's people. No, we met as a team together with all the board members about our budget. We went through every single line of the line item budget. Twice, in fact. So, as a group of people, we met on two different occasions to just go over the technical terms of the budget and all of those different areas, just so that we were kind of on the same page with why we came to the final tax asking that we inevitably came to. Hopefully, everything makes sense, and that our taxpayers support kind of what we have proposed tonight. I think as we went through the budget line by line, it was tedious work, right, Chad? 2 years in a row, we probably spent over 7 hours on budget stuff, and there's more to do. But I think that work just goes a long way in just saying that we're just not making stuff up. We're really going through everything that we do here at the school and asking serious questions throughout the process. And that's where we came to where we came to tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. So our funds update for the 2024 year, we were at these numbers here, so you guys all have the information in front of you. But our general fund at the end of the year was 1.3. Last year in August, compared to this year, it was 2.0. As we looked at our bank accounts this morning, Janella, and to even get a more updated version, we're at about 1.9.
Just in the general fund
Yeah,
and then
just general.
100,000 in the CD.
Yeah, so we're right at about 2 million with the CD included. So we're in a really great spot financially, but we all have been told this in the last couple months with the school tax credits that came in at different times. We could be reflecting that in our September payments and all those that are coming up for our taxes this year. So we're really, I think we're in a good spot, but the numbers definitely do look inflated compared to what they were last year. And then once again, that's because of those school tax credits that we were having deposited early. Special building fund looks a little bit down. We did a lot of work with special building fund this year, and we'll talk about a little bit of that tonight. But track was on there, playground was on there. Those were the major issues that we took care of with special building this year. Depreciation's almost doubled. So we did a $200,000 transfer last month. So that made that account look in a better position. And then our general fund CD is at $127,000. We don't really talk about the general fund CD on a monthly basis, but Janella has started to kind of put the general fund CD as in addition to our general fund as well on a lot of the documents that you'll see going forward. So any questions on the fund update?
What's the CD's purpose?
The CD's purpose was started years and years ago.
Before I even
Just
was,
kind of a
maybe when you
savings.
were on the board the last time.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So-
They had the general fund CD and they had the building fund CD, but we have
Okay.
merged the building fund CD into that account. So
Oh, okay.
We just sort of don't talk about Bruno. That's just one that we just, we try to keep that one sort of, we don't touch it.
Growing.
Yeah.
Okay.
However slowly it is, it's still an area where we don't want to really
Right.
touch the
Okay.
general fund CD, we don't have to.
And Matt, I could add something on that also. What schools will do, when interest rates are high, they just look at your cash flow and say, we don't need access to that for the next 6 months or even 12 months, so let's put it in a CD just to get a greater interest rate. Some people will look at the Nebraska Liquid Asset Fund, and if the rates are higher there, sometimes they'll put money in the Liquid Asset Fund, but it is a portion, it does count as your general fund balance or whatever fund it's in. But if the purpose is to get a higher interest rate rather than just having a checking account earning virtually no interest.
And,
Thank you.
we've had opportunities to talk with the banker. Most recently, Mr. O'Connell last year said, hey, the interest rates are more favorable now. Come on in, let's change your CD back to a higher interest rate. So he was able to move that for 7 months, and we did pretty well there. So we just kind of keep talking about going back to the bank and speaking with them about ways that we can just improve that. So ready to keep on going? Okay. So this school year spending, it's not the prettiest PowerPoint. I never know how to say click to add text and go away, so sorry. But I just kind of did 5 years worth of data here, so you guys can see kind of spending increases over time. As you can tell, the last 2 years, we've had about 7% increases in our spending as a district. And I think one of the things we need to just be careful about with our community members is talking about reasons for higher spending. Stuff comes up with older buildings all the time. This year, there's a couple things that came out of absolute left field that really stuck us for quite a bit of money, including our fire system at the elementary school, our hot water system here at the high school, phone system here at the high school. So we had 3 different major projects in the last year where you couldn't have said, well, let's budget for a new phone system because we know it's going to go down and we won't be able to find parts except for in China. So I felt like we did a pretty good job with our spending this year regardless because we did have
Matt, I would add something on that as well. In the period from 2012 to 2019, your average during that period of time was 3.7% annually, the average was. And so 3.7, it depends on what happens from year to year. But then from 2019 through 2024, in that time period right there, the average increase has been 1.9%. So, you're gonna have peaks and valleys. So, as a school district, you kept your spending low, or you did for several years, and then you had a high year. So, even though if you look at the last year or even upcoming, it might look higher, but you wanna look at over a period of time rather than just a 1 or 2 year snapshot.
Perfect. Yeah, so some of the things that we like to talk about in this meeting was just about 7.3% increase. Where do we spend the money? So just want to kind of break down the big ones. Instructional staff, we have a growing special ed population. We want to make sure we have highly trained paras at all grade levels, so we're getting the support we need there. We also transferred $200,000 in depreciation. That comes through as an expense. Building and maintenance was up from previous years just because of those big jobs. I forgot asbestos removal. So like all of those different projects were just big. We also know that grants come in as expenses. So we spent $155,000 on our early childhood program this year, and those will be monies that will come back into our building, which is great for our school. Janella, other things that we did this year, transfers to our nutrition fund. Can you talk a little bit about?
I think our transfers were maybe just right at the same as last year, but with the CEP program, all of our students are benefiting from free meals. So I think that's pretty good overall.
So that program is working pretty much the same as it has been, but we're actually impacting every kid that goes here instead of, it's really helped me with 3 kids going to the school is getting a lot, but it's a great thing for everyone.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The 200,000 in depreciation transfers, what's the norm?
We've done 100,000 each year since I've been here, but
So this
before
is
that,
an actual increase.
yeah. But we kind of planned on that last year because
We did.
Yeah.
We talked about it. When you say the 200,000 is part of 320, it's not all part of 320. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not big, it's 100,000 bigger than normal.
Right.
Right. Any other questions about the spending increases this year? Course wages are going to go up. We're on the second year of the contract year, and we'll be going on to the next. We'll be negotiating this year as well. We just want to go with the kind of a total. So far in grants, we've had over $150,000 in grants this year, which is great for us. And we'll continue to work on those. Essentially just ways for us to look at us for deferred spending. So if we can get it through a grant, why won't we try it? We had some pretty good luck in the last couple of years with grants, and we want to keep that going. Transfers are coded as expenses. I broke down all of the transfers over the last year. It was $365,000 in transfers. So depreciation was the big one. Lunch fund transfers were $125,000, and then activities fund was a little lower this year. It was $40,000 for those transfers. Anything to add to that, Janella?
No.
And we're sitting in a pretty good spot in all of those areas.
Oh, so our package shows 100,000, so the numbers have changed.
Say that again.
Ours doesn't look like
Ours
that.
doesn't look like yours. Ours shows transfers 100,000 from lunch fund in March of 2024, August 2024, 50,000 transferred to activities, 10,000, yeah, it's way up.
Okay. Yeah, it's, for some reason I might have a faulty packet. I will update that packet for sure.
That is 125.
Yeah, what I'm presenting now is the accurate stuff. I don't know how that happened, guys.
They
I'll
just printed it out as Spark, so,
yeah, I'd probably just,
okay. Maybe that's
The transfer in March of 24 counts as, what would that be in last last year's.
You mean, say that again?
Well, it didn't, I mean, when we started over in September last year, I mean, I don't. when
Yeah,
was that
September,
100,000?
October, November. Yeah, so then it rolls over, so March is this year.
March
and
of
then we did it.
24 counts too.
Yeah, it
I
was
think
March
it's
of
just a date on
25.
here, is March
Oh.
of 25.
Yeah, sorry, March, this is
That's
March
what
of
I'm
25.
asking.
Yeah.
Should be March
yeah.
of 25.
Sorry,
Yeah,
this,
yeah, on ours it
Yeah.
says March of.
yeah,
I
I'll
was just
update it.
wondering why that counted.
Yeah, March of 25, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Of course, mine seems like it's absolutely perfect, so I wonder if I,
Because it says,
So I need to print the right thing.
then you have 10,000 for lunch,
yeah, so,
100,000
that?
for depreciation.
Is it right on everybody's Spark?
and, well,
No?
No.
I
Oh,
think it's
okay,
wrong
okay.
everywhere. So I'll upload this
Sorry,
later to you guys.
I
Just looked up here, I guess.
I was trying to be
I'm sorry.
printing it out.
No, you're good. So then, anticipated increases, this will probably be different than that as well. You know, we just need everybody to know that we have added a special education teacher, and we're probably still gonna need a teacher for our ag. We have somebody in right now that looks like they're going to work out for us for the ag position. But that's a teacher that will move from para or room proctor to ag. We just anticipated increases, just older buildings requiring maintenance and upkeep, like flooring, paint, roof, gravel, plumbing, grass seed, and just so much stuff, cement work, there's just a ton of stuff. And some things come down from Rule 10 safety visits that are like, hey, fix the north sides of your building so they drain into the street instead of creating a trip hazard. So that will be one that we'll do. All of those things. Transportation seems to be something that's kind of variable. We could be going along great with no mechanical issues, and then boom, Friday night, we bust a tire on the road down to Fleming. And I don't know, we got our.
Have we got a quote on that? That's good.
No, not yet. I don't know what that's, it's probably gonna be some body work, so. But those just things just happen where we're like, dang.
Insurance programs?
Yeah, our deductible is great, it's only $500 deductible, which is fantastic. But yeah, so I think that the activity bus, just something's always going wrong, especially with buses. Now, we might need to be looking at replacement vehicles for our vans in a very short amount of time. Charles has been driving us routes for a little while. Can you tell him about the white van and the gray van?
The gray van is not something that we would want to use going very far. The white van does a pretty good job, but it's, got 80,000 miles on it too, so it's creeping up there.
180 rough thousand miles. So vans are something that come up. So that's, one of those things that you just got to be thinking about as far as our budget. We need to be in a position where we can order those vans. We put in there this year for like $100,000 in vehicle acquisition, but I mean, last time we looked at vans, they were $75,000, and I don't know. So those are.
The state doesn't really want us to get vans anymore?
Yeah, the state doesn't really want us to get vans.
It's not acceptable for routes.
Well, the black van that we have right now is, we're gonna go to Kansas City here in a couple of weeks to get retrofitted to be activities, but they really don't want you driving vans as routes.
They don't want you doing rounds, really.
How long ago was it that they mandated that we all have vans for routes?
They said that
I mean-
the van for routes has been not acceptable for like 12 years, something crazy like that. So, I mean, us getting smaller buses is an option, but they're just, I mean, they're very expensive, and
Break down.
yeah. Okay, so that's transportation. That's an ugly, disgusting thing that you just have to deal with sometimes. But I'm always worried about food costs as well. That's something that our staff is constantly talking with me about. They're worried about the impact that maybe tariffs have in supply and demand. There's a couple things of fruit salad that we can't order anymore because they're not from the U.S. So I think we have to. What's that? Not a bad thing, but it's going to be a supply and demand issue for sure. So we'll be worried about food costs. Definitely not a bad thing. but we do like our pineapples. It's just anyways, yeah, so, that's one thing that I worry about.
Will that affect our lunch program and cost, like, where we have free lunches now? How does that affect us then?
So we have the free lunch program, we're just, like the salad bars where we really get hit. So that's kind of the big thing. The fresh stuff is difficult, but, you know, Cashways, they're good to work with, but it's costly for sure. We also have a fresh fruit and vegetable program that we were rewarded, and that's, you know, just depends on what you get, so it's tough. And then I just said anticipated increases, negotiations for our staff this year. We just need our students to be around the best people, and we have some really great people at our buildings, and we just want to make sure that we keep the best people. So that's just kind of some anticipated increases around, school district spending. Any questions about increases that might be on your mind? All right. So now we'll go into some graph work. I make the best graphs. Carl's has been really great. When we first started working together, Carl created a bunch of historical stuff going all the way back. You know, now it's 15 years, but so I steal from his graphs. So he actually makes the best graphs.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry,
Yeah.
just came into my mind on the previous screen on the negotiations for the year for the staff. Are we in line with most people in the region for our teachers, or can we expect to be, are we lower, that we may have to bring something?
Yeah, we're the lowest. Yeah,
We were in the middle,
yeah,
and then we were the highest.
yeah. We're
It's
of those.
just one of those that does this too.
Do other schools around offer like the help with more classes for continuing ed, like we do?
No, there's some things that we do that are really great. Like our first year teacher salary is actually our third
But we
year teacher
don't-
salary.
Guess what? We don't start on year
Yeah,
We start
so
with year three.
our base is the lowest,
one,
but our real
our
pay
base
is.
is really our third year.
Yeah,
Our real pay is,
Competitive.
I think it's pretty competitive.
with some other good things.
Some other good things?
Well, like with
With other
their
tuition
offering,
benefits.
yeah,
Yeah,
tuition.
the
they help
tuition
with.
thing.
And full insurance.
I think, yeah, being able to work in a classroom of 14 to 16 kids is always a benefit. I think we have a pretty generous paid time off. I think we're a very good place to work. If you cover a class, you get paid for it. If you take tickets, you get paid for it. If you judge lines, you get paid for it. If you gotta come in the summer, you get paid for it. So I think it's a great place to work. If you gotta drive to early every day, you get paid for it. So we have some really great things that we offer our staff. But yeah, it does come back to the base. So our base will probably be something that we'll look at.
We start that in October, right?
Yeah, we just have to have 3 meetings before, or we have to have a meeting before November 1st. So I-
That's looking forward to it.
Yeah, I talked with Jess today about it, and he's gonna get back with me about some dates that will work for them, and we'll negotiate there. It's been pretty positive the last couple times we've done it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, but for negotiations, that's the main thing for me, is just, we just wanna make sure we're the best place to work around here. Okay, so, valuations, I say the joke about me making great graphs just because we had something for a couple of years ago. But yeah, here's the graphs that show Morrill and Cheyenne County's valuations. I think the graph does a good job of showing it, but then I think the numbers do a better job of showing kind of the increase over time. This is the last 5 years, so our valuations have really been on the rise. The year before, is it showing up in your guys' paper here, or are we going strictly from here? I'll update this and send this out to everybody as well, so that you guys all have that on here. It'll be on your emails in just a second too. Sorry, I thought that I hit the right one, but I might have hit like 2024, 25 or something on here, guys, so I apologize. The numbers will be, all those will be accurate up until this year's, but kind of a $30 million increase this year in valuations. So then I'll talk a little bit about the proposed levy. This year's proposed levy is going to be around 86 cents. So we'll be asking for 0.854 in the general fund and then 0.00825 in the special building fund. Just trying to grow that special building fund a little bit more. That's our proposed levy. You'll see that that is a little bit different than last year's 91 on the downhill slope for the levy, but the tax ask is going to be, up. The state aid for 2025-26. This is the kind of the meat and potatoes of our conversation. I really want everybody to kind of understand. Just because the news today, it said we're, as a state, Carl, I don't know if you read this or not, it said the state might be operating with $400 million less money this next year. So there's always things that come up. So we want to be sure we tell an accurate story to our taxpayers. We're going to be up on our state aid. Last year was $314,000, and this year will be close to $600,000, which is great news for our school. We can do a lot with $600,000 in state aid. It's up dramatically from the $24,000 that was going to be 4 years ago. So we're very appreciative of that. That's kind of broken down here. Carl, do you want to talk about this screen real quick?
Yeah, so, later on, you're gonna talk about option enrollment, but if you look at the 23-24 year, in the bottom section where it says state aid calculated, you had option in students, but your net option was negative. So you really didn't receive any option enrollment money. The big boost you received this year in 25-26 was mostly due to a huge jump in your positive option enrollment number. So that's 332,000 right there. Last year was 80,000. But looking at this chart, just to explain it a little bit, in the upper half are your system needs. And you take all your needs minus the resources in the middle section, and that gives you your state aid. So, you are on the line that says equalization aid, right below state aid calculated, right there, you are $1.5 million shy of being what they call an equalized district. So your resources are 1.5 million greater than your needs. What you're getting is option money, income tax funds, and foundation aid. So when Matt talks about the possibility of cuts in state aid or the state budget being shy, every administrator is talking about foundation aid going away eventually. So you guys are in a good financial position right now to absorb a blow like that if the foundation aid and or SPED were to go away or at least reduced. So I would answer any other questions also.
Yeah, it seemed like last year how they calculated state aid switched from like week to week, wouldn't you say, Carl? Like I'd call you and be scared to death one day, and then the next day they change it back to, hey, we're gonna be just fine. So
they seed out different models, and the different models show different things based on what the legislature is possibly talking about. The foundation aid outside of the resources was a good thing for not or equalized districts, but it also benefited you as well. Because originally the foundation aid was inside the resources, as you see in the grayed out area, and now they took part of that and took it out of the resources and put some of it outside of the resources.
Susie, you got something over there? Don't think so.
Okay. All right, well, we're not on that page yet, so when we get to that page, I'll ask.
Okay, all right. So this is just I just wanted to just make it just totally clear. The previous graph shows a lot about how state can fluctuate through the years. This year, we're in a good position, but just be aware that this can rapidly change as it did 4 years ago. The changes in state aid can handcuff us in the future, so we have to be prepared to handle those situations. We talked a lot about what you do now sets for next year. So your tax asking can only, increase by so much in the next year by what you ask for this year. So our general public needs to know that, we can't say that every year we're gonna be plus 33 in option students. 4 years ago, they all moved to Bridgeport, and we were down 11, so that's rough. And you see that kind of stuff, Kimball, just a few years back, a bunch of their kids moved to Potter, and they won a state championship. So those things happen, and we just don't want to be in that boat where we're just relying on state aid to make our schools stay open. So, anything to add to that from the group?
Well, on this, it'll be the next one, the updated option enrollment.
Okay, perfect.
So how many of those students are our students that live here in the district?
We're gonna get
How
to that.
many are,
City.
because there's just one big number.
Sure, I'll get into that. That's updated. So,
Okay.
let's go through the enrollment numbers, then I'll update you on that. So, really appreciate the question though. Updated option enrollment data as well as school enrollment. This year, K through 12, with 16 additional preschool kids is 151, plus the 16 additional preschool kids is 167. So down one kid. That number's old now because we probably entered in 2 kids today.
One kid today and it's another one.
Yeah, so maybe 169. And then, so option kids, the question that Susie had asked. So what people are going to say is, how's your enrollment trends looking? We're pretty stable. We're not growing in leaps and bounds, but we have a good number of kids. It's the 3rd highest right now, if we count those 2 other kids that just came in. It's the 3rd highest on the list. But with big classes come bigger numbers, so we want to make sure that number is staying the same or greater every year. And we've had pretty good luck the last couple of years. So the option student information. This is best information, not official information right now. So at this point, it looks like we're about 83 students that option into our school and 50 students that option out. That's for a plus of, so it would be plus 33. So great for us on plus 33, bad for us for losing out on 50 students.
A lot of those students are like Broadwater, that are gonna, or close to Sydney, are gonna go to Sydney.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily a, like Leyton somewhere else.
I hope so. I wish I could say without a shadow of a doubt that that's the.
But every kid optioning in loves us, so.
Yeah. One thing that I do want to say though is in the high school, we have 28 of our 50 are option kids. So when we hear those numbers, it's important for our school staff to know that Leyton kids are Leyton kids. They're not just Gurley or Dalton kids. We have a significant population of Sydney Leyton kids. And it's a lot. It's over half. And as you go through our kids at school, we attract some real great kids. And you'll see that on our football field, our speech team, all of those things. You'll see option kids in all of those areas. And they bring a lot to our school. We just want to remember that as we go forward. We have some great homegrown kids and some great kids that we get from Sydney. Charles, anything to add to that?
No, and like, numbers fluctuate, and the majority of the kids that we lost this year, that we had last year, moved away. They physically moved somewhere else. We had a couple that optioned out to go somewhere, but the kids that we lost, they physically moved. One went to Arkansas, one went to
Chapel.
One went to back east somewhere, but it happens. I mean, and we had the same problem in my last district. The kids would just, the families would just move for better opportunities, so.
And 3 large families is like 13 kids, so, I mean, those were a lot of families. So that's the option student thing. So I'll go to the next slide here.
And so,
Go ahead.
sorry, the option kids are worth, I mean, that's not worth. That's terribly said. But that part of our state aid was 330,000, correct?
332,000, yep.
Is that something that you could ever see going away, Carl? The option funding?
There is talk of the option, them taking it out of the formula. Yes, it is entirely possible. You know, option positive districts argue that, you know, this is school choice in Nebraska. And it really is. And others say, you know, why do we need option enrollment money? It's taken away from other districts. So yes, it is something that has been talked about every year.
But in your mind, you'd
But-
see the foundation aid go away first?
I would see the foundation aid being reduced in a crunch before foundation aid. That's just an opinion though.
Okay.
I'm not basing it on anything specific. Boy, I don't know. That's a good discussion because I know foundation or option money has been talked about. And the problem, some school districts, it doesn't matter, option funding going away because it counts toward, you know, your basic funding on the resources. But you guys, since you're 1.5 shy of being equalized, it would definitely hurt you by $300,000. It would be a negative effect.
But I think we could see the fluctuation in option funding just from like 21 to 22. I mean, that's crazy. And then to 23, 24 is 0. I mean, it's just a crazy thing, this option funding. Okay, so we were here. Proposed tax asking for Leyton this year is going to be the following number, broken up into 2 funds. The general fund we're going to be asking for $4.186 million, and the special building fund will be at $40,000, 44, just basically repeating 40s. And then for the total tax asking of $4.227 million. The previous year was 4.203. So what I wanted to talk about here is, Mr. McLaughlin, you had $600,000 in state aid. Why wouldn't you drop the budget $600,000 as a token to say, heck yeah, we did that? So that's a difficult question to ask, and I think we sort of answered it with what happens if we don't have foundation aid? What happens if we don't have the same numbers of option kids coming in? We're just going to have way less funding to be able to support the district for the asbestos that needs removed, or the dishwasher that goes out, or any of those different things. Does everybody kind of understand where I'm coming from on that? Okay. As we went through the line item budget, I'll show you here in just a second, but that's where we felt mostly comfortable. The proposed levy, this was the proposed levy for this year as compared to the year before. Remember that this year we'll be asking for money in the special building fund. Last year there was no money in the special building fund that we asked for. So the levy is going to say 86 cents as compared to 91 cents. But we just have to be able to tell our patrons it's not just the levy that we're worried about. Like, a lot of people gravitate towards, well, what's the levy? What's the levy? But the tax asking is pretty much what we want to talk with our patrons about. And I feel like we're being fair with this tax asking. I think I did a calculation on it earlier where it's actually on this one, where it's up 2% or something very slight. We're up $24,000. So Shad, the math guy, what is it, 0.08 or something like that. So we're not increasing the budget by 3%. We could have went much higher. But with the bump in state aid, we want to reflect that in our tax asking. We don't want to max out this year because we know we were able to get some great, help as far as option students go. Carl, anything to add to that?
No, I'm gonna add something toward the end here.
Okay, sure.
An overall, yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. So, I want to talk about a couple different things. Special building fund, we gotta have goals. And we talked with Carl, we talked about what should a special building fund with a district our size be. And he said, some goals that might be suitable for our district might be $750,000, meaning large projects. So where we're at right now, special building fund was 348, was it 50?
Yeah.
358. So we're halfway there. This would get us moving in the right direction. It doesn't put us at our total goal by any means, but it's moving us forward. We took out of it this year with the track resurfacing as well as the playground. So adding more money into that to help get those accounts back on the right spot. And we all know it feels nice and cool here tonight, like really great. But we've been fighting air conditioners down at the Gurley site all summer long. Every week there's a new one down, and we're adding 2 pounds of Freon. So these things, we quoted them out once in the last year for $1 million, both sites. So one site, 500,000, the other site, 500,000. So that's a big cost to our district. We just need to be prepared for large things that are going to come up. Kind of if not when, if not, what I'm trying to get at here. Oh, we want to. But we have had some accomplishments in the special building that we listed here. We got a new playground out of the deal. We got a shop exhaust system out of the deal. We got a preschool program out of that, preschool playground installation out of the deal. We've had some really good things come out of the special building fund. So we want to tell that story too. Like we're going to put the money away, but we promise we're going to do something with the money to improve our schools. And whether that means continued focus on playground, how do we address our HVAC issues, room renovations when required, or other just building grounds related projects to complete on that strategic plan. So those are just areas where special building is helpful. This is what I'm going to put in the newspaper. There will be 2 things that we'll put in the newspaper. Sam and I also discussed kind of how the next board meeting will work as far as the budget goes. Whoever wants to recommend the budget, we'll script everything out so that we have the tax request meeting. What was the other one?
The budget hearing.
Yeah, the budget hearing.
And then the regular meeting.
And then the regular hearing. We'll script everything out so that everything is just streamless and I don't screw up causing you guys to go to another meeting. But here's what I'll present to the public. And they'll see property valuations up 7%. I mean, they're up 7%, but our change in tax rates down 6%, and we're only going up 2%. So I feel pretty strongly about the proposed budget. And I'd like to hear some feedback from you guys on things after we've done the budget work. Chad, want to get us started?
Well, you could make the case that we should, whenever we get state aid, whatever our increase was, we should drop the budget that much. But things get more expensive, teachers get more, everybody's pay goes up. And I think if you do that, you really limit your ability to tackle a problem next year, because now you're starting with a lower number. And then you can only raise it so much next year, knowing that something big's coming. So I think we kind of have to keep moving along. I don't like raising taxes on anybody. I think this is fair to everybody. It's a small increase in the ask. I know everybody's taxes are going up, so I think it's fair.
Dave, what do you think?
I think it looks good. A lot of people just look at the mill rate number,
Yeah.
instead of the total, then they should be happy.
Yeah, maybe realizing people that only look at levies, but
You know, I think that's great.
Sam, what do you think?
looks good. You guys put a lot of work into it.
Hey, the line item budget's the main thing, just making sure that we're working together on that thing and just getting it cornered into a spot where we think it's legitimate. And I think we did a good job getting there. Susan, what do you think?
I appreciate the fact that we split up 3 and 3 and went item by item.
Yeah.
I like that, even though I understand it all while we're talking about it, but don't ask me when I get out there, 'cause I can't explain it.
When you break down every little thing.
Right, then I get it. And when you and Carl, you know, then I understand it. I have a hard time regurgitating it to somebody else, which is, that's me. But people need to understand where it's at. And if they just look at one number, and if you look at just the 7% here, it's gonna scare people, which we can't help because that's how you have to fill that form out. But understanding it and knowing what we did to get where we are, I'm completely happy with it. I mean, there are,
From where we were 3 years ago to.
yeah, you know, and the fact that we're looking, you know, here we have to replace those air conditioners. And if we take that 600,000 or whatever out from the option enrollment or for the state aid, then we're killing ourselves, we're cutting off our feet in order to continue to grow. I mean, I think we're spending wisely. We've gone through, we've made cuts where we feel we can make cuts. We've put additions where we feel we can do that sensibly. And I'm good with it. I think we've done a good job.
What do you think?
I think going through the line items, I think everything was just, and then you justified it well and why we need it. And I just think that, like Chad said, we know we need to prepare for next year. And as we were doing through that stuff, we were looking forward as well. So not only do we be justified in what we do this year, but looking forward, we're trying to make plans for the future too. I think it's pretty good.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
I think it looks good. This is the first time I'm really going through this because I just look at the levies like an And I hate tax. I think they're a horrible institution, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Like for anybody that's never sat in that meeting, it's interesting how you put like, all right, here's what we spent or budgeted, and then where we are over or under, and then like the next year that could completely change or something comes up on any one of those. Plus, we still got the track going on, we got the vehicles going on, and the HVAC system alone.
Very big expenses.
I mean, that's yeah, we're over $1 million,
Yeah.
million and a half.
And prioritizing stuff when we go on our walks, it kind of sucks. But it's good too because you get to see your building and know like what's on the front burner and what can we wait on. And there's some areas like Sam's saying like that are pressing that we have to go now, and vehicles might be part of that. So yeah, just staying on top of things is going to be important. And it's been great having you guys on board to make sure that, you know, we're asking questions. You know, I came in with like $140,000 playground. Let's go. Let's go.
We were all like,
I think
Yeah.
also one big thing is the board or you can keep letting people know why we're putting the money away. I
Yeah.
think for so long it was just, looked like we're just stashing cash, and that rightfully pisses people off. I mean, hard-earned money, so I think if we can keep showing, here's what we're doing with it, or here's where it's going, that eases the mind of the taxpayer, not completely, but a little bit.
Yeah.
and while our first priority is for our students and our staff, we still have all these other things that are, you know, in a perfect world, we would have perfect buildings and all the fancy stuff, and we've got it's a juggling act. to get all of those things and make everybody happy.
I think one thing too, like, for people like Mitch, that all you ever did was look at the levy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can look at other districts around us, and our taxpayers would be a lot worse off going north or south if they were in that school district.
Yes. That's what I understand as well.
Well, I'm sure that.
So Matt,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that a lot of the experts or even whoever would tell you to ask for way more than we're asking for.
Yeah.
Because this isn't maximizing our budget authority.
They pretty much want you to.
And this is
right?
what they preach to you all the time in training, maximize it. But we also have to look out for the taxpayers. I mean, it's not easy times right now, so.
I would say our community's extremely involved with the school for the most part. They give more than just paying taxes.
I think you're right.
Carl, go ahead.
So Matt, I'm gonna say a couple things and hopefully not confuse anybody in the process. You think about where you have come from, you know, one point, a number of years ago, you had $12,000 in your building fund. And at one time, you had $90,000 in the depreciation fund, and you've been able to put the school district in a better position with both of those. You've been able to put some money away, and you have projects identified. Great. Your general fund on September 1, 2025, right now, is more money than you've ever had in the history of the district. And people will look at that and say, oh my gosh, we have a lot of money. Right, and it takes a lot of money to operate. But, you know, the property tax credit money you're not gonna get the same amount of money this upcoming year. And you think about your option enrollment or the state aid piece of this, you know, you're getting a $300,000 boost for 25, 26. You will not get another boost of $300,000 next year. You might get the same, but it's not going to increase by another $300,000. So what happens is,
Unless we got
you're gonna
60
see
more.
an annual increase of anywhere from 2.9 to 3.7% increase in your expenses. So you're gonna see $175,000 to $195,000 increase over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Every year, you're gonna see that expense increase. So eventually, you will eat in, if you're not increasing your tax request, you're going to eat into that jump in state aid. And we don't know if state aid's gonna go away or not. We'll assume that everything remains the same, your enrollment does not decrease, option enrollment money is there, but eventually you will chip away at that bonus, and then you are going to the joint public hearing in 2 years and asking for a big bump. So asking, you know, for a little bit each year keeps you away from those peaks and valleys, hopefully, and it protects your district, you know, and it enables you to do some of those projects that maybe have been not neglected, but you just had to put off because you didn't have the funds for it. Things look good this year and next year and maybe the following year, but eventually that does flip. So you just need to be watching that.
So we can pat ourselves on the back for a little bit and then get back to work.
I mean, you walked into a terrible situation where our funds were, and thank you, Carl, for all the help the last 3 years.
Yes.
You bet. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
God bless you for
So-
enjoying that.
Hopefully I don't confuse you. I don't want to do that.
Well, thanks, Carl. I think we'll probably wrap it on up since our public is not here this time, but maybe watch it
Okay.
at home and we'll have some questions tomorrow or something.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Carl.
Thanks, Carl.
Have a good evening.
You too.
So the next thing we're gonna talk about is,
Who's Carl?
Oh, Carl Dietz is, from
I'm
so sorry. Yeah, so Carl was hired the same year I was hired by the district to essentially just help me out as a first-year superintendent. But he does this for,
He
Places
was a
all
former,
over.
he was a former superintendent.
yeah,
And he and another guy,
Where?
Matt Fisher,
for state bank.
yeah, were part of that and they
Capital
would,
Solutions or something.
we could hire them and they would help with the budget and this, because they love it.
And it changed a ton at that point. So the first year I was here was the whole thing with maximize it the most you can, because in 3 years, you're not gonna be able to go up 80. So we did that, and we went to the postcard, and it was just us and the county. Sitting in a fun seat there, but it was worth it, because today we're in a much better spot.
So that kind of scares me though,
Yeah,
because Carl, I think Carl's thinking, you're not asking enough.
he's definitely thinking we're not asking enough.
And he's looking up down the road.
Yeah, he's looking to.
I think we have to be really careful. Yeah, I want to be as good to the patrons as we can be.
But we also want to keep it.
We don't want to go until we just start, in a few years, we just deplete funds.
So we're $60,000 off of going to the, something like $60,000 off of going to the joint public hearing. I could,
Pink slips.
yeah, I could take it back and go
No, I-
1 penny off of
That, I'm
that.
not suggesting anything, I'm
Yeah.
just saying we need to be careful.
Yeah,
We got a little closer
Or
next
plan,
year.
yeah, plan a little bit better. A little more.
It just makes it harder, I mean, there's no, your increase is your increase next year.
but with a bump of 300,000, I think that's a question that you gotta say this year.
I agree.
But it's not gonna be like that next year.
Could be, I don't, might not be anything.
Well, it'll be, in October, we'll know, it'll be, so right now we're at plus 33. So
But I'm
it
saying,
could
you
be-
don't know what rules they're gonna make for us.
State legislature.
True.
They're gonna-
Yeah,
I mean, I think we'll be in a good option, number-wise. But, will they say, well, next year we're just gonna send 5,000 a kid for your option number?
That could happen.
definitely could.
Or we're gonna cut foundation in half.
If they cut foundation in half, bad news.
What is it right now?
I think it's still, is it
It's 15.
1,500 a kid? something
And we're
like that.
not getting paid yet for preschoolers
No.
next year, but they're gonna pay on 4-year-olds next year.
It'll, we're still on the grant, so the
When the
grant
grant
carries
runs
us
out.
another year when the
The grant
grant
runs
runs
out.
out. And I think they're going 100% on 4-year-olds. So, 100% so.
They can count as a full person, they're a handful.
It's
You should go in there right now.
in the first couple weeks,
Andy's got her hands full.
it's hard. And we're talking about moving people to help her even more. There's just a lot of needs there. And I'm so thankful that we have it so that we can enter our kids in at 3 and 4 as opposed to finding out that little Johnny has a really hard time when he's 6.
My daughter is a whole different kid this year, coming home, just in the routine, going to school, enjoying it, and it was awesome last year.
Yeah, she's one of the leaders. Now we're very boy heavy, like 12 to 4 or something like that. It's,
So no, I wasn't suggesting we change the budget.
no,
I was just thinking, it's scary, because I've seen the graph, and once it starts going backwards, you can't stop it.
It's scary going to Lincoln and listening to some of the state senators, especially when you're listening to Omaha, who basically think we should close. We're spending too much money per kid, we're not efficient. That's true, if you go down there, that's what you do.
yeah, it's, and you know, it is true though. I mean, we're probably not the most efficient place, but our community wants our schools.
Yeah.
So
We have
we-
good public service.
Yeah,
Well, was it your first year that we looked at, well, the two biggest changes we could have would be close Gurley and stop our bus routes. And I think anybody who proposed that might get shot. So I think most people were willing to roll on the doors open.
keep the doors open. I think this does that. And we just gotta be in the news for the positive, not the negative. focus on, being the best option that we can be for kids. And we've had some good publicity here lately, and we've had some bad publicity here lately. And, yeah, some of that can't be avoided, but doggone
I bet you were upfront with it.
it. Yeah,
You didn't try to hide it.
yeah.
The public was aware of it.
Well, I think one thing we can do as far as Shad's concerned, especially with the trend thing, so just make plans for it every year. Just
Why
chip
can't
away
we
and,
levy?
yeah,
I mean, the word,
and not make a huge jump.
they could cut state aid, the valuations could go down 10%.
Yeah.
Raise your, pretty soon
I think that would be Pillen's choice.
you're just in a hole. Then you're cutting services or staff.
Yeah, a lot
Everybody
of
wants to do
it's,
that.
We're going to a 4-day week.
What has that say in school districts? Have you looked into that?
yeah, they said that it doesn't say the age.
Oh, yeah, you were.
But you're still paying teachers.
Well, you still gotta be open for a place for kids to go.
The biggest savings is on transportation.
So you, 20% on transportation, maybe.
And lunch and food, but food's free right now.
Well, it's not really free.
It's not really free, I'm just saying it's, well,
Yeah.
it's not. Maybe you save a little on nutrition,
Good.
but I just don't see.
We asked our teachers if they wanted to consider it. They said, we'd rather have more school. Go back to school Friday the whole day. And I was like, guys, come on. I love Friday.
Okay. We good?
Yeah, so on the informational items, the big thing is that it's 3 different meetings next month, or I'm sorry, on the 15th. There's the budget hearing where Sam and I will work together and I'll probably, what do you think, Sam, just send them an email that says, here's just kind of how it's gonna go.
To everybody, that way if you wanna read it, it's there.
So the hearing should be very basic, but the general public has an opportunity to talk. And we're not gonna cut them off or anything like that, they can talk, get their fill in and talk.
For 5 minutes or talk?
Talk. And then the special hearing to set the final tax request should be very short and simple. I don't imagine that anything will change between now and the 15th on the budget pages. So we're going to tomorrow send that in, the budget page that we presented here as that's gospel, that's the one. So the numbers on that page are the ones that are going into the thing, the blue
The blue sheet, that's supposed to be.
So those are the 2 meetings that have to do with the budget, and then at the board meeting, we'll have to pass the budget. So there's 3 things that have to be done with the budgets, just to make sure that we follow the law. Now, if we were to raise it too much, we would have to appear in the special hearing, which we've done before, but we did the first 2 years, I was here the 3rd year, we didn't. This year we won't, so that hearing takes place, the budget hearing takes place of that. So, yeah, this gives our community an opportunity to just talk through. I don't know how to get more people involved in the budget workshop meeting. I'm going to present this exact same thing the night of the budget hearing, just because I'm a glutton for punishment. But I feel like doing it twice just says, for the general public that is here for that, they can do the exact same thing that we just went through. So we give them multiple opportunities to be here to talk publicly about the budget. So thanks for being here. It's about an hour. I think we're good.
Cool. Yeah, so informational items, budget hearing will start at September 15th. The special hearing to set the final tax request will follow that. And the regular board meeting will follow the special hearing to set the final tax on September 15th. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Chad, Susie, we'll switch from the approval agenda. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ernest?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Shoemaker?
Yes.
Mr. Wiedemann?
Yes.
Mr. Benish?
Yes.
Mr. Ernest?
All right, well, next time I see Carl too, I'm gonna ask him, because every time like he talks at training or whatever,